Good everyone, oh, this video today we have the second plane I forgot to review, Tux Gladiator Mark II. Initially, I wasn't planning to actually do this vehicle because of me already doing Icobe's J8A, and initially I thought, is there really much point? It's like there is a couple of differences, like the Tux Gladiator has a slightly better flight model, at least in my opinion, has arguably better guns in my personal experience, unless you're ground pounding, in which case the Icobe's is superior. And I didn't really see much point in reviewing this thing, and I kept forgetting about it, to be brutally honest. But then I thought, well, no doubt someone's going to look for a review on it, and at the end of the day, I might even get asked for a review of this thing, so I thought I'll just cover my bases and get it done anyway, because I mean, why the hell not? What's the worst that can happen? So Tax Gladiator Mark II is the British starter premium that you get if you choose British Air as your first nation. And for a first starter premium, it certainly ticks all the boxes, at least in my opinion. It's reasonably fast for a biplane. It's got a great turn rate. It's got flaps which you can use in a dogfight to possibly outturn some of the biplanes that you may have lost to in the past. And the guns are pretty good as well, packing just about 2,000 rounds of ammo, with the wing-mounted guns being about 400 rounds, and the other guns being around 600 rounds, if I remember rightly. These are definitely sufficient weapons, and being British calibered, they are certainly better than the peasant American ammunition. And I know Harry's going to hate that one, so that's why I mentioned it. But in my personal experience, the British 7.7 is much better than the American 7.62 cartridge, at least in the game. I find that I get a lot more fires with the British ammo, and most importantly, I tend to get more kills with the British ammo, purely because 90% of the British belt is incendiary. So let's go over the weapons, and let's go over the aircraft in general. So starting out with the wing gun pods, as they would be officially termed, as mentioned, 400 rounds, 1,000 rounds a minute fire rate. You'll burn through these rather quickly, and as a result, this is definitely something that is going to need to be learned. Like, you're going to need to learn when these wing guns run out, and most importantly, just make sure to consider that you will be down to two 7.62s eventually. Internally, you have two 7.7 Browning machine guns. These fire through the propeller hub and are synchronized, and these have 600 rounds. These last a little bit longer, and you'll notice when the wing guns run out, these won't be far behind, so do keep an eye on your ammunition supply. And for your engine, you have the trusty old British Mercury 9-cylinder radial. Try saying that 3 times fast when you're drunk. With a max power of 712 on 100% and 748 to 750 on WEP. Not a bad engine, but for some of the BRs that you can meet, especially the 2.0 birds, this engine is going to look a bit laughable in comparison, sadly. And as a result, this is really where the Gladiator falls behind compared to the Chaika, which I mentioned was a lot more fun. Whilst I personally do enjoy the Gladiators, and as a result, I have a sort. I'm not biased or anything, because obviously I am British myself, and this is a British biplane. But I've always had a more personal bond to the Gladiator, just because it's not only has it got a badass name, like you can't tell me there's not a cool name like Gladiator put on a biplane, and something like Hurricane, Typhoon, like those are the names that really jump to my mind when it comes to aviation. And of course Mustang, because I love the P-51. But whilst I do prefer the Chaika, I'll still take this thing out from time to time if I was given the chance, because obviously I don't really need to fly these things anymore. But this is definitely one of the planes that would be on my short list if I needed to if I needed to relax or something. This would definitely be a plane on my short list. Of course, typically with some of these reserve tier premiums, they don't tend to have much ordnance options, with the exception being the Chaika, which is arguably the best other than the Hawk 3 in the Chinese tech tree. And if you're looking for CAS, this ain't your bird. In the British tech tree, there's the Havoc and the Hudson. Those are the ones you should pick if you need gas. But for just general fun, for 250 golden eagles, I'd get this thing. That's for sure. Anyway, let's get into the match and let's have a look at what I got up to in this little buzz box. Now, of course, this is a premium that isn't exactly, shall we say, as powerful as it used to be back in the day, because the worst you'd fight in a Gladiator back in the day was in 109E1, and you could easily bait them down quite easily if the E1 pilot was a dumbass. If they were skilled, you didn't have a chance. That I'm just saying. But it really didn't have much opposition that could really put a candle to it. Like, the CR-42 was a good fighter to engage with. That was a good tussle to have. And the H-51s were a good tussle as well. And if you fought the Russians, the I-15s were certainly a challenge, but that's just something that goes off in terms of power creep and everything. And as time has gone on, this plane has become more and more obsolete, which is just sad. So as you can see in the chat, and as you can see me looking at bombers, there's actually a team killer in this match. Maxim Alexandri is a team killer. He's a troll account. Feel free to report him, but that's just another incident I thought I'd mention in this battle. As a result, you'll notice immediately that the climb rate of this thing is very low. And whilst it isn't the worst climb rate in this BR, it's certainly lacking. And as you can tell by my airspeed isn't looking that great either. But you'll be surprised how easy it is for this thing to pick up speed. Like, it's the Bristol Mercury is certainly capable of propelling this thing along quite nicely. It's just in a climb, you will start to feel the lack of power. So starting off, we're engaging this RE-2000, which he got himself into a really bad situation here. And he's about to lose tail control right there. He ends up bailing out, so I get the kill, which, thank you for that. And that's kill number 1 to start us off. I was thinking about going towards the CR-42, and I looked to my right and considered other options, but in the end I decided to go for the CR-42, purely because he's about to kill that Hawk, and I kind of need to back up my teammate. And in a one-on-one, my money would be on the Gladiator. But a 3-on-1? Yeah, it's whoever gets the pilot. Kill number 2. That's going to be my last kill for this match. And again, as you can tell, like the Chaika battle, this is a very short battle. It's only 9 minutes long. And this is the thing, like, you don't need to have amazing matches to review planes, and you don't need to have amazing matches in general just to relax a bit. And that's pretty much what I did whilst I was playing these premiums to get around to reviewing them. I was going a little, shall we say, try-hardy with that head on there, but even then, I'm not going to get that kill. That's why. There's my assist for this match. But at this moment, there's pretty much nothing left for me to do. I mean, there is that one a night coming in, and there's also a try-hard in a BF-109B1, who is a stat padder. I'll point him out in a moment. And that's really the worst you're gonna meet. I mean, in this battle, this is a 2-0 match, which is pretty common. I mean, the lowest I had playing this plane was 1-7, and the Gladiator was still able to pull its weight. It's when you start getting into the 2-0 matches. So there's the tryhard up there. His name's Holtzy, and you will see just how much of a tryhard he tries to be. I looked at his player card and I was actually quite surprised. So I'm going for the shot on the 109B1. I'm trying to get some hits into the cooling system. Looks like my teammate's already done that for me, but a little extra never hurts. And of course, here's where the Bristol Mercury engine really doesn't do me much in the way of justice. I'm giving the engine maximum power, I'm weapon bollocks off it, and I'm just not catching that guy. Luckily for me though, he isn't the smartest tool in the shed and decides to come head on with 3 separate planes. He does score a minor hit into my right wing, but it was so minor I seriously couldn't care. And do I get this guy? I don't remember actually. I think I get the assist. I either do get this guy or I don't. I don't remember, to be brutally honest. I think I set the fire, but I don't remember this replay that well, but I remember the Chikers one. Yeah, there we go, I got the assist. So here comes Mr. Tryhard trying to take advantage of me trying to deal with the other 109B1. He can only target planes that aren't paying full 100% attention to him, but luckily we have a P-36/H-75, which is more than happy to have a nice word with him. And unfortunately, Mr. Tryhard makes the biggest error in the book and tries to out-vertical a H-75 and gets bitch slapped. At this moment though, it's really where the match starts to, shall we say, really go into our favour. I mean, they've only got a Ju-87G1, which that thing is a clobber, as you've seen in my G2 sub-request. And a S-81 Italian bomber, which is currently being intercepted. And as a result, I now have to deal with the mountain of flak. Yeah. This is definitely a problem with low tier maps, and this is something they need to fix. What you've got to remember is, I'm on a level 75, sorry no, a level 40 odd, 50 odd British crew. I'm lucky to be alive after that strafing run. And the guns are continuing to tear my Gladiator to bits, and for a new player to have to experience this is extremely wrong in my opinion. But that's just how Gaijin is, they can't model things for shit, unfortunately. So, at this moment, I'm making my way towards the light trucks, but of course I'm having to dodge more flak fire, and I am still taking gradual damage, it's just not showing yet. And, as I said, the Gladiator's Bristol Mercury engine is, again, starting to bite it in the arse, because, well, it's just not got the power to get me out of this sort of situation. But after strafing out that last AAA gun, the match soon comes to a close as the Ju-87 jays out on the runway and the S-81 was shot down by our CR-714. So like I say, this is definitely a fun biplane, but if you do need a premium just to have a little bit of fun in, I'd put my money towards Sikorsky's Chiker, personally speaking. As fun as Tux Gladiator is, the Chiker just does everything better. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's review on Tux Gladiator Mark II, and I will catch you all on the next one.